crime. It's all around us. Death and killing plagues our lives. We're not the heroes.
We were in this together. And then you're gone. Now there's evil. Rises. Law enforcement officers have to come back.
What if they don't exist anymore?
Please. Save my son. Peach.
He plans on striking here.
So what's the plan?
Save Peach and get out. Welcome to the CNN Afternoon News. My name is Kevin Nguyen, and today we will be discovering whether the number of sworn law enforcement agents correlates with the number of crimes in the state. Well, first of all, what is a sworn law enforcement agent? A sworn law enforcement agent is one who works for the government, as opposed to an unsworn law enforcement agent who is privately hired. We joined ACE reporter Toya Fugu in the field to find out whether or not they correlate.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm here in California, where there's a lot of crime, but also a large number of sworn law officers. And now I'm here in Wisconsin, where there's minimal crime, but also significantly low amount of law enforcement. It's getting a little chilly out here. Let's go back to the studio to analyze our observations. According to the intel we received from Google and our corporate partnership, Bureau of Justice Statistics, which led us to disaster.com, we compiled a graph that shows the number of law enforcement agents versus the number of crimes in 2004. Here's what our graph looks like. The A value is 30,538. The value of our B is 14.602, and our R value is 0.84. The R squared value is 0.71. Using our least square regression line obtained from the top 20 most populous states, we found the equation: the number of crimes equals 30,538 plus 14.602 times the number of law enforcement agents.
I don't speak no ching chong chang. Do I look Chinese to you, lady? In English, please. Hello? Hello? Get the interpreter online.
Hello, what do you need?
Julia, we're transmitting the data over you to process. We need you to figure out what this all means.
Alright, the data's been patched across. Interesting.
What does this A value mean?
Oh, the A value, or y-intercept shown in the graph that reporter Toya Fuku was talking about, is or represents the number of crimes without any sworn law enforcement officers.
And this B value thingy?
The value of B, or the slope, tells us that for every additional sworn law enforcement agent, the number of crimes increases by 14.602.
And this pirate value? R.
The R value, or correlation, of 0.84 tells us that there is a moderately strong positive linear association between the number of sworn law enforcement officers, agents, in a state and the number of crimes in that state.
What about this R squared value?
Well, since the R squared value, or coefficient of determination, was 0.71, that means that about 71% of the variation in the number of crimes is explained by the LSRL, using the number of sworn law enforcement agents.
How do I know you're not trolling me? What proves that this model that you gave us is valid?
As you can see from the residual plot, which plots the residuals on the vertical axis against the explanatory variables on the horizontal axis, we see that since the points are scattered, there are no patterns, so the linear model was a good model to use.
Oh, I did not see that coming. Alright, Miss Know-It-All. Are you psychic or something? Can you predict the future?
Well, predictions can be made.
such as by using our LSRL, we are able to predict the number of crimes in other states not on the list using the number of sworn law enforcement agents in that state. We randomly chose a state out of all the remaining 30 states and used our LSRL to predict the value and compare it to the actual value. From using this equation, we're able to make predictions such as in Utah, for instance. In 2004, there were 4,573 sworn law enforcement agents. And so when we plug this number in for X in our equation, we come out with 97,313 crimes. And the actual number of crimes was 103,229. We see that they are relatively close to each other, reinforcing the fact that our LSRL was moderately strong.
You liar. Get out, liar. But in all seriousness, were there any influential observations or outliers?
California looks like an influential observation, and New York looks like an influential observation and an outlier. After removing California and New York, our R-squared value of the LSRL became 0.74. Compared to our original equation, whose R-squared value was only 0.71 in the new equation, the number of sworn law enforcement agents explains about 3% more variation in the number of crimes.
So next time you are planning to move to a different state, you should check the number of sworn law enforcement agents to have an idea of how many crimes happen in that state. This is Kevin Nguyen at CNN, signing off.
Mr. Miracle, what do you think of the crime statistics in California?